Many Christians have already realized the importance of prayer, and so they plan on how they're going to spend time in prayer, but then as soon as they get on their knees to begin to pray, then they realize that prayer isn't an easy thing. They realize that it's very difficult to pray. So people end up in this thing where with their whole heart, they desire to pray, and then they wish that they could be able to pray. But they find that they just can't. For some reason, they can't pray. They want to, but they can't. You're going to realize that you don't need to make any efforts for you to get your phone and go on the internet, like go on social media and browse. It's very, very, very easy. Actually, you find it even compelling. Like a lot of people even find it to be compelling. Like you actually feel like you can't help it. You just want to do it. But not many people can say the same about prayer. With prayer, there is that resistance, there is that struggle. When you're doing anything else, like when you want to go on social media and just be browsing, you're not going against the desires of your flesh. You are actually doing what your flesh wants to do. But when it comes to prayer, the flesh is an enemy of the spirit. What the flesh wants is contrary to what the spirit wants, because the flesh is very earthbound, but the spirit wants to do the things that are of God. And for you to pray, you don't just pray with your spirit man only, but it also involves your body, because you actually have to stop doing all the other things that your flesh wants to do. In order for you to be able to pray, you pray in the spirit, but even your body is involved. You have to take your body to that prayer closet. You have to keep your body there, and restrain it from going off to do every other thing, and just let it stay there while your spirit man communes with God. And so the flesh doesn't want to do that. And so it keeps on resisting, because it would rather be doing all the other things that are gratifying to it. It would rather be feeding on everything else that it desires, because it's so earthbound. But in order for us to walk with God, we need to strengthen the spirit man and weaken the desires of the flesh, because we need to serve God in spirit. And the other reason why it's very easy for you to do everything else, but it's very difficult for you to do the things of God, it's because when it comes to the things of God, you have an enemy. Satan doesn't fight you when you try to do the desires of your flesh, because the desires of the flesh are actually pleasing to Satan, because he knows the desires of the flesh are contrary to the spirit. The desires of the flesh are not going to benefit your spirit man anything. And Satan is more concerned about what is happening to your spirit man. He's more concerned about keeping your spirit man starved. So when you go to do the things of the flesh, he does not fight you, because he knows that the more time that you're spending to do the things of the flesh and you neglect the spirit man, it is actually for his benefit. Then he has more power over you. But in order for us to overcome Satan and to overcome all the temptations that he puts in our way, we have to overcome the flesh. We have to crucify the desires of our flesh, because the flesh desires sin. It desires sin. It doesn't desire to stay in prayer. It doesn't desire to do fasting. It doesn't desire to be obedient to the Lord. The flesh wants to go and do everything that it wants, everything that it craves. But we have to keep it in check. We have to keep it under control. And we do that by the Spirit of God. So when you go to pray, it's very difficult, because you are warring against your flesh, and you are also warring against Satan, because Satan uses the desires of your flesh. In the spirit realm, Satan is always doing everything possible to ensure that he keeps you away from prayer as much as possible. Firstly, you're going to find that it's very difficult for you to find time to pray, to allocate time to pray, because Satan will try to make you feel like prayer is not a priority, like everything else is a priority. And so it's going to be very hard for you to find time to pray. because you're going to leave prayer to be the last thing on your to-do list. And by the time you want to go and pray, you're already tired from doing everything else, and then you just fall asleep. So that is one of the ways that Satan is going to fight you from being able to pray. There are a lot of things that go on in the spiritual realm that we are usually unaware of. Like when you decide that you're going to spend this time in prayer with the Lord, Satan sends demons to come and start whispering to people like, oh, don't you think you're supposed to do this first? Don't you think you should go and do this first? Don't you think this is more